This is a quick overview of a CloudConnexa admin user interface and some of the features. Once you log into CloudConnexa, you're going to land on a status page. This is a page that is going to give you information as what is happening on your network. You can also filter those information down here on the same page. The next tab we're going to look is users. This is where you can set up your users locally here. You can also have the option of using your identity provider and set up SAML, single sign-on, or LDAP in CloudConnexa, which we're going to look at it in a minute. Groups, this is where you can set up groups for your users. It comes handy, especially once you try to set up the access controls. Devices, this is where you can add devices to your users, especially if you set up the device identity verification and enforcement. This is a feature that if you enable, a user must use an authorized device to connect to CloudConnexa, otherwise they won't be able to connect. This is where you come as an admin, add that device to the user with the UUID of that device. Location context policy, this is where you can set up a policy based on a location of a user. You can either allow connection or block the connection, and you can choose either an IP address or subnet or a country. So if you click on add policy, you can see the configuration page. You give a name to the policy. You can choose what groups or all groups, and then here you can add the IP address or the subnet, and then you can choose block or allow connection, or you can choose the country that you would like to allow connection from or block connection from that country. Once you select any of those settings, then you can choose again allow or block and enable the policy. Device posture is the policy that you can set up for CloudConnexa to check a client's device before connection or even during the connection. Once you click on add policy, you can give a name. Again, you can choose the groups that you would like to have this policy enabled. You can choose everyone or just one or two groups. And then you can choose the criteria that you would like for each operating system. For example, for Windows, if I want to check against any antivirus, I can select antivirus and select what antivirus is authorized by our organization, or I can add other criteria as well. So, for example, if I choose client certificates, I can select that and upload certificates. That goes for Mac OS also. We can also allow connection from Linux devices, Android devices, and iOS devices. If we scroll down to access visibility, this is where we can see traffic that is being generated in our environment. Again, you can choose the time range if you want to last for 24 hours, 7 days, or 30 days. And then you can also filter your criteria a little bit more. For example, there's destination groups, so you can choose destination host services. Also, you can filter the traffic sources as well. And then you can see the information here. It's going to give you, again, everything you need to know about the traffic flow as far as the groups, the users, the IP address, the ports that they were using, what resources they were trying to access, and so on. When it comes to groups, this is where you can basically give specific access control to a certain number of people or groups. For example, you can see here, I got accounting. Accounting group has access to accounting app. Then I got my European team that they have access to CRM app, and so on. So this is where you can set up your access policies. Scroll down to Shield. This is our IDS and IPS and content filtering. So we can see that for the content filtering or domain filtering, we have 43 categories that you can select, or you can select one of the preset protection levels. When it comes to traffic filtering, you can choose based on priority or categories to block the traffic. And at any time, if you want to see the event logs, you can go back to overview, choose if you want to see observed domains, blocked domains, observed traffic, or blocked traffic, and then choose the time range that you would like to see and get the information here. App Hub is the app sharing feature of CloudConnexa. This is where you can share your resources with outside vendors or other departments that they don't have access to CloudConnexa. So basically, you share your resource, they're going to get an email with the instructions on how to connect to CloudConnexa. They don't have to be a client of CloudConnexa, but they can connect and access that resource that you shared with them. At any time, if you want to take that sharing away, you can come here and disable it. If you expand API and logs, you can see log streaming. This feature, actually, you can send all event logs to an AWS S3 bucket, and from there you can configure a SIEM such as Datadog or Splunk and analyze those logs. Expanding settings under users. This is where you can enable device identity verification and enforcement, as I mentioned earlier. If you enable this, basically you tell the system that users can only connect using an authorized device. Again, you have to configure or provision the device under the username. If we go to user authentication, this is where you can configure SAML or LDAP to use your own identity provider. So you just click on edit here and configure your SAML single sign-on or LDAP, and then you can use your own identity provider. Two-factor authentication can be enabled here. The last thing that we're going to look here at DNS, you can use your own DNS servers, or you can add DNS records to CloudConnexa. So this was a quick overview of admin user interface and some of the features of CloudConnexa.